My loving audience take my love and subscribes my channel. And dive B&B stories. Did Steffy Forrester just trade her crown for a scarlet letter? You've really got to wonder what was going through her head. Was this really just a drunken mistake? Or is there something much deeper and darker happening to the Golden Girl of Los Angeles? Imagine waking up in the very office where you run a global empire, only to realize you've just nuked your entire personal life with the one person who was supposed to be your corporate rock. We have to ask ourselves, is Steffy truly a victim of her own runaway emotions? Or is she finally becoming the very person she spent years accusing Sheila Carter of being? The scene at the Forrester Creations office wasn't just some standard soap opera cliché. It was a total pressure cooker that finally exploded. Think about it. Steffy had just hightailed it back from Monaco with a heart full of volcanic fury. She had just discovered Finn's secret connection to Sheila, and she literally threw her wedding ring at him as if it were a piece of trash. She was so done. On the other side, you have Carter Walton. He was drowning in his own sea of sorrow because Daphne Rose Walton had just handed back her ring. She told him her infertility was a reason to flee to Paris, and it just broke him. These weren't just two people having a casual drink. They were two emotional shipwrecks colliding in the dark. Why did this happen right now? Honestly, it feels like a classic case of revenge-seeking masked as vulnerability. Steffy has spent her entire marriage demanding this impossible level of purity from Finn. She wanted him to be perfect, even though he's the son of Sheila Carter. By turning to Carter, did she really find a shoulder to cry on? Or did she just find a way to even the score before Finn could even defend himself? It's a psychological defense mechanism. Destroy the relationship yourself so you don't have to wait for the other person to do it to you. Let's look at the why behind all of this. The catalyst wasn't just the alcohol, although she was apparently drunker than a skunk after her flight home. It was the crushing weight of that Forrester standard we always hear about. Steffy is exhausted from being the strong one. She's tired of defending the family and dictating the moral laws for everyone else. When she saw Finn defending Sheila in Monaco, her internal world just collapsed. Carter, on the other hand, is a man who loves to be the savior. He saw a woman in pain and in his own grief-stricken state. He stepped right into the role of the ultimate comforter. He completely ignored every professional and personal boundary he spent years building. What is Steffy feeling deep down? She's probably feeling this terrifying sense of relief hidden under her panic. For the first time in years, she isn't the perfect one. There's a hidden darker emotion here. A desire to be caught so she can finally stop pretending to be a saint. Carter, though, he's feeling that lawyer's guilt. He's a man of order, and he just committed the ultimate act of chaos. He looks at Daphne now and sees a future he feels he doesn't deserve, which has to be more painful than any infertility diagnosis. We need to reframe this whole situation. We shouldn't just look at this as a cheating storyline. It's a pedestal storyline. Steffy has spent years building a tower of moral superiority, and she just jumped off it. Sheila isn't just a blackmailer here. She's the person holding up the mirror. By recording that confession, Sheila isn't just taking a secret. She's taking Steffy's identity as the good daughter-in-law and using it to crush her. I'll be honest with you. I think Steffy is the villain in this specific chapter. How can you demand unwavering loyalty from your husband while you are actively sleeping with his colleague? Her hypocrisy is just breathtaking. While Finn was fighting his biological urges to connect with his mother, Steffy was surrendering to a physical urge that was entirely avoidable. Do you agree with the fans who say she was pushed into this? Or do you think she had choices and just chose the wrong one? This whole thing looks like a textbook example of imposter syndrome, manifesting as self-sabotage. Steffy feels she doesn't deserve a perfect life with Finn because of her family's messy history, so she created a crisis that matched her internal turmoil. And then you have Finn's reaction. The physical outburst where he actually struck her? That tells us everything. His identity was so tied to being the man who isn't like Sheila, that when his world shattered, he defaulted to the very violence he fears is in his DNA. It's a tragic cycle of characters becoming the very things they hate. The tension doesn't just stay in the office. It moves right into the nursery and the boardroom. Sheila's ultimatum is a masterpiece of psychological warfare. She's telling Steffy, trade your son's safety for your marriage's survival. Every time Steffy takes Hayes to see Sheila at Deacon's, She is essentially feeding a piece of her soul to the wolf. She's forced into a double life where she has to accept Finn's apologies while she is actively betraying him on two fronts, the affair and the child. Sheila isn't asking for millions of dollars because money doesn't give her what she really wants: access. By forcing these unsupervised visits, Sheila is slowly reparenting Hayes. She wants to bypass Steffy and Finn altogether. It's a genius move because if Steffy tells the truth, she loses Finn. If she keeps the secret, she loses her son's protection. Sheila has effectively neutralized Steffy by making her an accomplice in her own misery. Finn is living in a house of mirrors. He's begging for forgiveness for a crime. His connection to Sheila, that isn't even close to what's actually happening. The psychological toll of being the person begging when you're actually the victim is going to destroy him when the truth finally comes out. He's going to feel like such a fool, and that's a dangerous emotion for a man who already feels like he has bad blood. And what about that strike? When Finn lost control, the show signaled a point of no return. This isn't just about an affair anymore. It's about the death of the Sinn ideal. They might have been able to survive an affair, but can they survive the fact that they both became monsters in one night? Finn isn't just running from Steffy. He's running from the person he saw in the mirror during that fight. Can we talk about Carter for a second? He needs to stop being everyone's rebound guy. He's a brilliant executive, but he keeps getting his heart shredded because he can't say no to a woman in a crisis. In my opinion, he should have walked out of that office the second the bottle was opened. By staying, he didn't just betray Finn. He betrayed his own self-respect. And Daphne? She really deserves so much more than a man who only stays faithful when things are easy. There's also this whole anonymous messages thing. This adds a layer of gaslighting that changes the entire game. If someone was deliberately pushing them toward a breaking point, it means their choice wasn't entirely free. This is a psychological experiment in a soap opera setting. Who has the most to gain from a Forrester civil war? Whoever it is knows exactly how to manipulate the egos of Ridge, Steffy, and Carter. I'm predicting right now that a pregnancy is the only way this story can go. A Who's the Daddy? Plot involving Steffy and Carter is absolute ratings gold. Imagine the fallout. Ridge having to look at his new grandchild and see the man who betrayed his trust. I also think that anonymous sender is going to be revealed as someone within the inner circle, maybe someone who wants that CEO chair for themselves. If Steffy is pregnant, the secret can't stay buried for long. A paternity test will be the digital guillotine Sheila has been waiting for. But here's a twist. What if Sheila knows about the anonymous messages too? Sheila is like a chaos sponge. She absorbs information and waits for the perfect moment to squeeze. Daphne is honestly the most tragic figure in this entire mess. She came back to fight for her marriage, totally unaware that her friend Steffy had already moved in on her husband. When she finds out, her heartbreak won't just be about Carter. It'll be about losing her faith in people. She's probably going to leave LA again, and I don't think she'll be coming back this time. What is Sheila's actual endgame? She doesn't want Finn and Steffy to divorce just because she hates them. She wants them to divorce so Finn is alone and forced to turn to her for comfort. It's maternal Munchausen by proxy on a massive scale. She's creating the illness in his marriage so she can pretend to be the cure. Honestly, I hope Finn doesn't forgive her. For his own growth, he needs to realize that Steffy's version of love is actually just a form of control. He should walk away and find someone who doesn't treat him like a project that needs to be managed. But then we have to look back at that night in the office. It was a Monday when they were drowning their sorrows, and by Tuesday, they were waking up to total regret. Steffy was horrified. She was literally kicking Carter awake, gasping about how they shouldn't have done this. And then she sees the text from Finn. He's on his way home. The timing could not have been worse. While Steffy raced home to put the whole thing behind her, Carter stayed to tidy up the office. And that's when Daphne shows up. She apologizes for running away and says she wants to fix her terrible mistake. Can you imagine the gut punch Carter felt right then? He just did the one thing that could permanently end his marriage, exactly when his wife came back to save it. Steffy goes home and talks to Taylor about what happened in Monaco, but she doesn't mention Carter yet. Then Finn arrives full of love, begging for forgiveness. The irony is just painful. Finn thinks he's the one who broke the marriage because of Sheila, but Steffy knows she's the one who might have actually killed it. Some people think the show is moving too fast with this starter romance. Having both of their marriages end at the exact same time just to put them together feels a bit far-fetched, doesn't it? A slow burn romance would have been much more believable. Instead, we get this explosive affair that feels like it's designed just to create maximum drama. And the betrayal against Daphne is huge. She considered Steffy a friend. Steffy was the one encouraging her not to give up on Carter. So for Steffy to jump into bed with Daphne's husband the second she leaves? That is a massive backstab. Daphne is going to be devastated. As for Finn, learning the truth might trigger a dark side in him. We already saw a glimpse of it during that fight. If he realizes Steffy left him for Carter, his fury might erupt in ways we haven't seen before. Is Sinn damaged beyond repair? Really feels like it. Let's talk about the logistics of the cheating. Steffy and Carter agreed to hide it. Their first instinct was damage control. They thought they could just act normally and keep the truth buried forever. But we all know how soaps work. Secrets like this always come out. And usually they come out at the worst possible moment. Sheila's role in this is just sinister. She stands there in the hallway, listening to their frantic confessions through the office door. She uses her smartphone to capture every word. The red dot on her recorder is basically the end of Steffy's life as she knows it. Sheila doesn't just want to ruin Steffy. She wants to bring her to her knees. The ultimatum Sheila gives is chilling. Bring Hayes to Deacon's for unsupervised visits, or I send this audio to Finn. Steffy is trapped in a psychological torture chamber. She has to choose between her marriage and her child's safety. It's an impossible paradox. To save her family from the truth of her cheating, she has to expose her son to a woman she knows is dangerous. The toll on Carter is just as bad. Sheila corners him too. She plays the recording and watches him crumble. He has to become a silent co-conspirator. He's playing the role of the devoted husband to Daphne, while Sheila holds a metaphorical gun to his head. Every time Daphne talks about their future, it has to feel like a physical blow to his conscience. And Finn is just oblivious. He's trying so hard to win back her trust. He has no idea that the woman he promised to banish, Sheila, is actually the one calling the shots in his house now. Steffy is looking into his eyes, accepting his apologies, while she knows she's letting Sheila manipulate their son. The hypocrisy of it all is enough to make anyone sick. How long can they keep this up? The atmosphere around Steffy and Carter is becoming toxic. Every interaction is poisoned by this secret. Steffy is living a double life, and she's on the verge of a complete emotional collapse. She's a prisoner in her own home. And then there's the confrontation we all saw coming. Finn notices the distance. He notices that she avoids his eyes whenever Carter's name comes up. He tells her, "You've been avoiding me." And when she tries to deny it, even she can hear how weak she sounds. Finn asks the question, "Is this about Carter?" He wants to know if she has feelings for him. She says no, but she still can't look at him. She's remembering that night. She was furious, she was exhausted, and Carter was just there. He listened. He understood. They didn't plan it, but it happened. And now the secret is like a second marriage inside her actual marriage, built entirely on fear. When she finally admits it, "Carter and I slept together," everything stops. Finn is devastated. He calls it a betrayal, and he's right. He points out the hypocrisy. He was trying to prove he was worthy of her trust, and all that time she was hiding this. He says she had choices. She could have screamed, she could have left him, but instead she chose Carter. And then the argument turns physical. In the heat of the moment, Finn loses control and strikes her. The room goes silent. Finn is horrified by his own actions. He crosses a line that there's no excuse for. Now they're both facing devastating betrayals. Finn packs a bag and leaves, and honestly, can you blame either of them for being done? Finn goes to his mom, Lee. He admits everything, the affair and the strike. Lee is furious about the cheating, but her expression changes when she hears he hit her. She tells him, "Finn, what happened to you?" He realized he had to confront the person he was becoming. Steffy calls Ridge. When he finds out about Carter, his anger is explosive. He confronts Carter at the office the next morning. Ridge tells him, "You betrayed Finn. You betrayed Steffy. After everything this family has done for you." Carter tries to stand his ground, saying Steffy made the choice to, but Ridge is done with him. When Finn eventually comes back for his clothes, they have this heartbreaking conversation. He asks if she loves Carter. She says no. He asks, then why him? Her answer is just, because I was broken and he was there. Finn points out that she risked everything for someone she doesn't even love. That has to be the most painful part. Finn isn't ready to forgive her, but he also doesn't know if he can walk away. They still love each other, and that's what makes it unbearable. They're facing the truth now, but the fallout is spreading to the entire family. Brooke warns Ridge not to turn this into another Forrester war, but Ridge is too furious to listen. And then we get the bombshell about the anonymous messages. Carter tells Steffy, someone was pushing both of us toward an emotional breaking point. He mentions strange messages that contain details only a few people could know. Someone knew when they were fighting. Someone wanted them to break. This discovery changes everything. It doesn't excuse the affair, but it suggests they were being manipulated. Ridge finds out the messages were sent from an old Forrester security account. And just as they're starting to investigate, the security system goes offline. Someone is watching them. Finn and Steffy start to talk about building something different, something based on total honesty. But then she gets another message. You still don't know who started this. And then, ask Carter what happened before that night. Carter finally gives them a name. He knows who had access. And the person behind the messages is someone they both trusted. Someone who watched their marriage collapse from the inside. Now the question is, can they survive the truth that's coming next? What do you think about Finn's physical reaction? Does it make him just as bad as Steffy, or was he pushed to a human breaking point? And if Steffy ends up pregnant, who do you actually want the father to be? Is it the loyal doctor or the man who actually understood her pain in that moment? This isn't just a scandal anymore. It's a total shift in the show. The Sinn era might be over, and a new, much darker era is beginning. If you want to keep up with every twist in this Forrester Civil War, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Don't forget to like this video if you think Sheila Carter finally won this round, and drop a comment below with your theories on who is sending those mystery messages. We'll see you in the next one for more deep dives into the drama.